Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about kit from ICM. It comes in 1/72 scale, and you can notice that it's a part of their diorama series because the kit number is DS7202, and we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. And it is interesting because it is named as Overall of Spain. The sky is clear. As you can see on the box art, we have several aircraft, so 2 fighters and 1 twin-engine Russian or Soviet aircraft, and we have a chance to take a closer look at what is actually supplied inside. So first of all, box size is typical for such small-scale aircraft models from ICM. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Next, if I flip it over here, we have a short history note and some technical specifications, so just give me a second. There are SB2 and 2 BF-109 fighters. Parts count is not provided, but we should be approximately knowing how many parts are there because they're obviously based on the previous releases. This is not a new plastic, and on the opposite side you'll get an idea on what markings you can copy. I hope there is a bigger choice of markings, but we will see it in the video review when we will be checking the assembly manual and decals. So what I'm doing at the moment is removing the sticky seals from all 4 sides, so that we can open this box and take a closer look together. And as usual, I will remind you that if these seals are cut before you get the box, it means that somebody was opening or tampering with the box, and it would be a wise idea to open it and check all the parts, and maybe also to ask seller why it was opened, and maybe to ask for some discount, who knows. So this is a top opening box. This flexible part does not provide any protection at all. And what is actually protecting parts is this white cardboard box. If I open it, here is what we have inside. So frames are divided into several plastic bags, 3 to be precise. And because we have 2 identical fighter aircrafts, BF-109, obviously we won't be checking the same again and again. We will check only 1 set of sprues. But I suggest we start with a DB2. So I'm going to open it right now. As you can see, seal is slightly tearing apart, so I just need to align it on the plastic bag. It's always tricky with such kind of bags. Not always, but most of the times. Okay, so I opened it, and I just need to reapply this sticky seal here. Okay, so first of all is the twin-engine aircraft. As I was saying, it's not a new plastic, so that's why it will be noticeable when we look, for example, at this sprue. Maybe I'll open the lenses a bit. So here you can see the first frame, and straight away you can notice that the external features, they look fine, but you will have to be careful in order not to lose any of this stuff. And if I zoom closer, you can see what I'm talking about. But overall molding quality seems to be okay. Definitely this is not a kit for beginners, so in case you are not sure in your skills, then first get some experience, because this build might get some time, especially considering that we do not have any guiding elements here inside. They're really tiny, so it's easier not to count them than to rely on them providing a proper fitment of the parts together. Next, we continue with the clear frame. So here we have also quite an interesting stuff. I can see that this frame was not remolded in accordance with modern ICM quality standards. And that's not really cool, because that's what we get. These parts are not exactly transparent. As you can see, these turret parts, they are somewhat muted, and maybe they will benefit from a bit of clear lacquer, which will get some glossy finish on these parts. It's up to you. Maybe you're fine with such finish, then you just need to mask them, because I'm not sure if this kit actually features any masks templates or actual masks inside. We will see it further in the video review when we will be checking the assembly manual again. So here we continue with another gray plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to a mix of various parts. First of all, you can notice that we have various parts for the landing gear and also for bombs. And again, amount of plastic parts is really surprising, so you can copy basically whole bomb layout on the aircraft, and of course you don't have to, so some modders will be happy to put it aside for their next builds. I can see that inside we do have some guiding elements. For example, the nose and tail section, they will be serving as a guiding elements, but that's pretty much all you can expect in this area. But still nice that we get a really full list of the additional armament items here. Next sprue is supplied in 2 pieces, so there are 2 identical frames, and here you can see them closer. I mean, one of them. So here we have some parts for the engine gondolas and also engine propeller, and everything looks nice. We have also some elements of the wheel wells compartment, and inside I can see that there are some guiding elements, but again they're not that evident, so maybe it would be a wise idea to dry fit first everything and then glue it together. Next sprue is dedicated to tail surfaces. So here we also get some of the cockpit parts. I mean, here, for example, you can see the cockpit wall, and maybe in some areas you have to drill out the holes, so it would be a wise idea to get a drill bit as small as possible so that it will look natural in 1/72 scale. And that's really basic upgrade, but I mean, it will add some fine details to your aircraft. And note that landing gear wheels, I'm looking at them right now, they're molded as a single piece parts, but again, if you have a chance to get a resin replacement, better go for it, because these are really basic plastic parts, even though, as far as I can see, they feature some pre-molded details. So here you can take a closer look. And maybe you can bring them out, but it's really not that evident on the plastic parts. And the last gray plastic sprue for this aircraft kit, here we have wing parts, so each side of the wing should be glued out of 2 halves. We have separate ailerons, and flaps are pre-molded. As for the external features, if I zoom in here, you can take a closer look. So we have recess panel lines and rivets, and if I flip it over here inside, we have guiding elements here in the trailing edge. But that's again pretty much all, nothing on the leading edge. And these parts are relatively big, so that's why it's better to dry fit them. Here you can see comparison with my hand. But overall, molding quality seems to be okay for experienced modelers, in my opinion. Next, we continue with BF109 parts. So, as I said, they're supplied in 2 sets, so we will check only one. And this is a BF109 in a 1/72 scale, so again, this is not exactly a new kit, and it's a bit more surprising because we have some really good alternatives recently on the market, so this kit will have really tough rivals on the market if you consider building BF109. But here you can see one and only gray plastic sprue you will be needing for this aircraft. So both fuselage halves are molded with a tail fin but without the cowling area. As you can see, this cowling part or cowling section, it is molded as a single piece part, which is rather nice. But then we get the wing mechanization, which is pre-molded. Even the front wing slats, they are also here in place, so you won't be able to adjust their position. And here you can take a closer look. As for the external features, I think they're okay for this scale, so with some pre-shading and maybe weathering you will be good to go. And the same applies to the wing parts. Let's flip it over. Here in the cockpit area we have some pre-molded features. It would be a wise idea also to play with some weathering here, because it will help you to bring out all the features which are coming as pre-molded on these parts. Or maybe do some scratch building, who knows, maybe you have some spare parts from previous projects and you can install them here. Okay, and one more sprue is designated for BF109. It's a clear sprue, so I will just need to put this one aside. And again, canopy parts here for this small fighter, they look rather nice. So if I bring them like this, you can see it with your own eyes, and obviously you can open them. So this middle section is molded separately, so you can open it on the model, and that's a welcome feature on 1/72 scale build. But I'm not sure if masks are included because these parts are really tiny. It's a 1/72 scale BF109, so it won't be huge, and that's something you should keep in mind when building or working on this model. And next we continue with assembly manual. So I need to take it out because it's kind of tight fit here. First of all, I would like to show you the decals sheet. So this one is printed here on one decal sheet. Here we have all necessary symbols for all three aircraft. But again, printing quality seems to be nice. If I bring it closer, you can see that we also have stencils. Unfortunately, there are no cockpit decals. I'm not sure why ICM keeps ignoring the cockpit decals, because it's really great opportunity to add more features with such simple step. But now we can move to the assembly manual. So here I will have to close the lenses, zoom out a bit, and we are going to start with this color printed brochure. We have short history note here and some technical specifications. Actually, these are paint charts, no technical specifications for aircraft, but we have a separate insert for a BF109, as you can see. And here everything is quite simple because you get the parts map, assembly process, which starts right away from the cockpit, and you join fuselage halves together. Also landing gear, and here we have some final steps. So whole assembly of the BF109 is taking only one sheet of paper. Nevertheless, here we also get the marking guide for this BF109. That's the aircraft from Legion Condor from Spain, spring 1939. Next, we continue with the SB2M100 aircraft manual. As you can see, it is coming in an old style, so we have a, I would say it's more of a black and white print, even though we have a red color here. So assembly process starts from the wing area. Here you have to combine a lot of bulkheads together. Then you assemble the tail section separately, and then you assemble the nose section separately. This is quite interesting sequence, I would say. And note that then you start working on the engine gondolas, nose area or nose canopy, the bomb bay, and here you have black and white marking guide, which is something I would rather suggest to use the reference materials so that you will be able to replicate the camouflage in a proper way. And here we have two other marking options, and here is another one which is given as a side profile, really surprising. And here we have a second marking option for the second BF109. So this marking guide will be actually needed for today's build, and as you can see, it comes in a cover, so at least this. But it means that each aircraft will get only one marking out of the box. So all in all, we get a really attractive combo from ICM, especially for those who are interested in the history of this conflict and they would like to replicate it in 1/72 scale. Of course, they should have some experience in order to work on such plastic. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.